ब्रेन के अंदर हम अगर देखें तो हमारे पास नर्वस सिस्टम होता है। नर्वस सिस्टम जो है वो सारा सिस्टम कंट्रोल करता है होल बॉडी को। तो सबसे पहले हम पेरिफेरल और सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम में इसको डिवीजन करते हैं। पेरिफेरल जो नर्वस सिस्टम होता है उसमें ऑटोनॉमिक या फिर हमारे जो कंडीशंस होती हैं बॉडी के मुताबिक उसको कंट्रोल करता है। सोमैटिक जो होता है वो हमारे सोमासेल्स से रिलेटेड होता है जो हम खुद कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। पैरासिम्पथेटिक और सिम्पथेटिक में एक फ्लाइट और फाइट कंडीशन आ जाती है और दूसरी हमारे पास आ जाती है रेस्टिंग कंडीशन। अगर हम सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम की बात करें तो इसके अंदर हमारे पास दो पार्ट्स हैं इसके। सबसे पहले एक आता है ब्रेन और दूसरा होता है स्पाइनल कॉर्ड। ब्रेन इज द मेजर पार्ट और मेजर body organ of the human body. Brain has three main parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Hindbrain includes mesencephalon or medulla as so on. And next is the brain parts. It includes cerebellum, corpus luteum, corpus callosum, basal ganglia, thalamus, hypothalamus, amygdala, hippocampus and cerebellum. लेफ्ट एंड राइट ब्रेन पार्ट्स में हम लोग फंक्शनिंग के बेस पे इसको डिवाइड किया हुआ है। लेफ्ट जो होता है वो हमारा एनालिटिकल थॉट्स के बारे में और लॉजिकल, लैंग्वेज एंड साइंस और मैथ्स के बारे में होता है। ये रेशनली सोचता है, ऑब्जेक्टिविटी होती है इसमें और रियलिटी बेस होता है। और अगर हम राइट ब्रेन की बात करें ये थॉट इंट्यूशंस होते हैं, यानी इसमें थॉट्स आते हैं, ठीक है। और क्रिएटिविटी राइट में हमारी क्रिएटिविटी वगैरह। और अगर हम देखें तो इसके अंदर हमारे पास आर्ट और म्यूज़िक होता है। रिस्क टेकिंग होता है, ये डिसीजंस जो होते हैं वो रिस्क वाले वो ले सकता है। इम्पेटियस होता है, फैंटेसी पे बेस्ड होता है। So the next is the again brain parts. Above is the cerebellum, then corpus callosum is like a umbrella shaped, and the cerebellum which is rounded irregular shape. Spinal cord is below, above its medulla oblongata and above its pituitary gland on one's left side. Okay, now next is the hypothalamus and then thalamus controls most activities in the brain. Now next is the brain is divided into three major parts: hindbrain, midbrain and forebrain. As I already learned about it, each region is composed of different brain parts that work together to process the information they receive. Like cells combine to form tissues as they work as organized form cell like this. Other body parts also work as organized in a or organized way, so they receive information and transmit into another form. Neurons take away from the messages from the brain. Okay, forebrain is considered the highest region of the brain. Forebrain is the highest region because it essentially differentiates humans from the rest of organisms. Rest of animal kingdom से हमें separate out करता है. That is the forebrain. The region is also involved in processing complex information. The complex information came from the muscular parts, so neurons transmit it, translate and transmit it. The midbrain and hindbrain are similar with other animals, like hence the brainstem. Here the brain stem. Forebrain includes a telencephalon, diencephalon. Telencephalon has cerebral cortex, basal ganglia, limbic system. Limbic system includes hippocampus and amygdala. We will discuss it detail in later lecture. Diencephalon includes thalamus and hypothalamus. If we talk about this diagram, here we can see forebrain has cortex, limbic limbic system, thalamus, and another is hypothalamus. Midbrain includes here we can see, and hindbrain includes pons, cerebellum, and medulla. Now next is the cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex is included in the telencephalon. Then we will discuss basal ganglia and limbic system. Cerebral cortex, again cerebral cortex, frontal lobe, temporal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobes. We will discuss about lobes too. Okay, lobes and as cerebral cortex has four lobes: frontal lobe, temporal lobe, parietal lobe, and occipital lobe. In first of all, we will discuss about cerebral cortex. Then we will discuss about its four lobes. Cerebral cortex is the outer layer of the cerebellum, composed of folded gray matter and playing an important role in consciousness. As we have discussed, it it is related to consciousness. That cortex is most recently developed part of the brain, like a crumpled paper. It almost completely captures the rest of the brain parts. Okay, it is also largest part of the human brain, making up to 80% of the brain volume, as it includes frontal, temporal, parietal, occipital lobe. Higher level processing also takes place in the these lobes, or we can say cerebral cortex. Lobes of the cerebral cortex: primary motor cortex, central sulcus, primary cerebellum. Okay, now the cerebral cortex has two hemispheres: left hemisphere or right hemisphere. Left hemisphere associated with the verbal processing, as right side. It is placed at the right side. Cerebral cortex is on the right side, and so it deals with the emotions and our scientific base and logical thinking here, such as speech, grammar, and mathematics, while the right hemisphere also include non-verbal processing such as perception, visual recognition, and emotions. The left hemisphere information coming from the right side of the body, while the right hemisphere processes coming from the information coming from the left side of the body. The two hemispheres of brains are connected with each other by a bundle of axons called corpus callosum. This connection allows the left and right hemispheres to communicate and integrate information with each other. Corpus callosum formed by the two hemispheres are connected with a bundle of axons. These bundle of axons are called, which connect right and left hemisphere. Okay, this is called corpus callosum. As cerebral cortex has two hemispheres, right and left: right for verbal reasoning and left for the verbal reasoning, and right for the emotions recognitions. Cerebral cortex larger part. It includes four lobes, as it is part of the telencephalon. Okay, forebrain has rest in the human body recognition part. Okay, it includes different lobes on the basis of function. Divided nervous system includes CNS. We are studying now CNS, in which we are studying brain, in which we are studying forebrain, in which we are further we are studying telencephalon. Telencephalon we are discussing now cerebral cortex. After it, four lobes will come. Now four lobes. Then two hemispheres included in it, right and left, and then axons are the bundle between the right and left hemisphere called corpus callosum. Okay, corpus callosum, the major link between the right and left hemisphere, bundle of axons which allow communication of the neurons across both hemispheres. Frontal lobe. If we are discuss about the frontal lobe, most developed in the human, as make large part of the brain, in about 80% cerebral cortex, in which frontal lobe also include. Most developed in humans, largest of the forelobe as it is frontal large olfactory cortex, motor cortex, language production, memory, no, no, ultra lobe or temporal lobe. Ultra memory and language is discussed about in the temporal. Parietal is the smartest sensory and spatial processing attention. Okay, it is discussed in the parietal lobe. Occipital lobe visual processing is the occipital lobe. Now limbic system, the limbic system.